Karen Romano-Young back again with another chapter of A Girl, a Raccoon, and the Midnight Moon with pictures by Jessixa Bagley and published by Chronicle Kids this year, 2020. I'm going to start by showing you this amazing illustration Jessica did of Mrs. Judge, the principal's office. And who are those people in the hot seat? Oleg, Francine, and Pearl, and some very interesting drawings on Mrs. Judge's desk. Let's see what they did to get called down. Chapter 30, Do Tell, October 4th to 5th. In the playground at school, there was a new favorite game, just in time for the eerie Halloween season. It was called Rock Lady, of course, and it was based on Francine's performance. Francine stood, eyes glazed, hands stretched out, and dared kids to touch her hand until, after some secret number of touches, she came to life and chased them, screaming. Pearl wasn't sure what she should do to keep new kids coming to the library, but then, of all people, Elsa picked up on the drama of Francine's game and started performing it herself. Pearl shouldn't have been surprised. Playing Rock Lady was a great way to get attention, and there was nothing else I loved more. Good. Let the outgoing, popular kids build up the game, while the creative force, Pearl told herself that's what she was, turned her energies to marketing raccoons. On the way home from school the next afternoon, Pearl told Francine, "I've been working on a new part of the story." Francine nodded. "What's it about?" Pearl felt encouraged. "It connects Vincent with the raccoons." There was a number of kids trundling along with them on their way home from school, including Oleg and Jaime, but Pearl ignored them, talking quietly, intently to Francine. "So," Pearl said, "say Vincent is a neighborhood lady who is up a lot in the middle of the night writing poems. She's friends with some neighborhood cats and leaves milk out for them. One night when she's sad, she finds raccoons diving into the cat's milk, and that makes her laugh." Jaime butted in. "We've got a big raccoon living right under our steps." "So?" said Pearl, and waved him away. "Keep going, Pearl," said Francine. "She keeps leaving milk out for the raccoons, so pretty soon they aren't afraid of her anymore. Also, she stands in her garden and reads them poems. She looks a lot like the statue in the garden when she does this." Pearl struck Vincent's pose, head up, hand out. "So how does this connect to the raccoons?" "Well, she tosses all her lousy poems in the garbage, and later the raccoons will find them. They already know what the poems say, but now they figure out how to write those sounds down." "So that story is how they learned how to read?" "Yep," said Pearl. "It's a good story," said Francine. "Is it?" said Pearl, but she already knew it was. "Add it in," said Francine. "Take a look," said Mrs. Judge, the school principal. She spread a pile of drawings across her desk in front of Pearl, Francine, and Oleg. "Pretty creative," said Oleg. In one drawing, a man carrying a gray head was running away from a gray headless creature. Blood and gore were pouring out of the bottom of the head. Francine put her finger on a drawing of a tank running over the Rock Lady. "Seems kind of extreme," she said. "Someone has been scaring the pants off the first graders with the story about a woman made of rock." Miss Judge was wearing the long gray sweater she always wore at school, and she held her hand out in a demanding way. "She stands waiting for some kind of an offering, and if the right thing isn't offered, she chases you." So Pearl told her a new piece of the story about the stories coming out from Vincent's hand and moving through the air like invisible flying books that materialized into the hands of kids who came to the library. "And yes, she's got her hand out because of that. And some people say she wants something, and if only she could walk, we'd know." "If she could walk?" said Miss Judge. "We made a kind of ghosty story about her," said Francine. "A kind of ghosty story." Miss Judge was smiling. "She didn't used to be ghosty," Pearl protested, and she told about how the head had been stolen, the police were called, the lost head signs posted, the newspaper articles printed, the photos taken, the rock expert, and the stonemason consulted. "So all this comes together in this story you're telling on my playground?" Miss Judge asked. "Performance," Francine said automatically. "Story plus dance," she explained. Oleg had waited for his moment, and now he took it. The point is to build interest in the library, he said, sounding dignified. It has taken some hits lately, and we are trying to save it by bringing in more people. Patrons, said Pearl. Isn't this the building that's going to be turned into housing? Ms. Judge asked gently. Pearl sat up straighter. Not if I can help it. Oleg said, her mother's the librarian, you know. Francine added, Pearl practically lives there, and I live right across the street. Oleg said, and I live right in back. But there have been other troubles at that library, Ms. Judge said. Didn't some homeless man break in just last month? Haven't there been some problems with wild animals? She shook her head. This neighborhood sure isn't what it used to be. Pearl blasted off. It's a good neighborhood, and a good library, and a good statue. I'm sick of hearing all this other stuff. There's more. Then why are you helping to perpetuate this other stuff? Why are you telling ghost stories about your lovely statue of a poet? To make people come to the library, Pearl said, because if the library doesn't get enough votes from the neighborhood on election day, it's going to be made into apartments. I'll do anything to stop that. So this is all leading up to Halloween, when we're having a new head ceremony for the statue, right before election day. You should come, said Francine. Since we started telling the Rock Lady stories, we've given out 50 new library cards to kids. Really? Because of ghost stories? Yes, said Pearl. Circulation is up, and it's not just children's. Ms. Judge had started off seeming like she disapproved, but now her head was cocked to one side. She said, Here's how it looks to me. If your library shuts down, the neighborhood looks worse, and that reflects badly on the school. We don't want that, do we? Definitely not, said Oleg. A school should stand for the whole neighborhood. Pearl hadn't thought of this. Miss Judge made a motion as though she was dusting off her knees. I suppose theater in the service of saving a library to reflect well on our school is a worthy effort. They should both stand for the neighborhood. Would you be willing to do your performance for the whole school? Yes, said Pearl. Then everyone in the school can come on Halloween. We want the mayor to come with her whole city board. I'll write her honor a letter, said Ms. Judge. Education, reading, literacy, art, kids. Yes, those are things the mayor should care about. Does she? Asked Oleg. The principal smiled. Let's find out. A sidebar about mascots. Here in New York, our team mascots aren't furry animals. We have things, jets and nets, and specific kinds of humans, giants, Yankees, Rangers, Knickerbockers. It refers to the Dutch settlers of New York City. We have one guy with a baseball for a head, Mr. Met. All of these make the teams of humans seem more heroic, inspiring their fans' imaginations. Many other teams have animals, lions, tigers, bears, bulls, birds, cardinals, blue jays, ravens. These mascots seem less inspiring, but they create togetherness, kind of a club feeling. So Pearl picked an action to go with her animal. This made a mascot that was far more interesting, something that made the neighbors feel heroic, inspired, and together. By M.A.M. You can find out what that is tomorrow. Thank you. See you then. Bye.